Thanks for watching this video. This is going to be hopefully the wiper motor video to end all wiper motor questions. Give you a rundown real quick. We've got our old test unit that we used 20 years ago for testing wiper motors. We could plug it into the car and test the gauges. As long as you had access to the gauge, we could test the gauge right there in the car. We hodgepodged it. We've chopped the wires up so that we can disconnect each wire from each item on the system, and hopefully you'll say, okay, well, that's what my motor's doing. We're gonna run the motor, and you'll say, well, that's what my motor's doing, and oh, well, this wire was off when it happened, and maybe that'll give you some more guidance on how to solve the problem as to what's wrong with your car. So if you look up here, we've got an original wiper switch here. We've got a relay mounted here, but what we did, we fixed this relay. We did another video while we did that, plus this gives us a little bit more access to show you what the relay's doing in what position as well. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to fire this thing up, and we just put the wiper switch on low. And if we put the wiper switch on low, it's going to park. You'll notice that it activates the relay, and I don't know if you can see that or not, but I'm going to hit low here, and boom, there it goes. So you'll hear it. Okay, that's high, low, park. High, low, park. So it doesn't matter what position it's in as long as the motor's running, the relay drops. So you can see right here there's a little electromagnet that pulls it down. So we'll start with some wires here and see what's going on. First wire we're going to pull off is going to be the blue wire on the 1, 2, 3 connector. That's the top wire. And I can get it off. There we go. So now you turn your wipers on, and let's see what we get. Okay, we get nothing. Now what we do get is a clicking in the relay. You can hear it. So when you're turning your wipers on in the car and you hear that clicking noise, there's a good chance you've got a problem with the blue wire. Now that clicking noise means the relay's probably working. So it's probably, I don't know that I would go to the relay, but I would definitely check out what's going on with the blue wire. The blue wire runs to the wiper switch, and it also runs to the relay. So by disconnecting it and making, let's eliminate something real quick. By disconnecting this blue wire again, we hear the relay click. So we can take the guesswork out of it. Is it the switch or the relay? Because we're going to disconnect the ground off of the switch, and the relay doesn't click. So if you're hearing a relay click, your wiper switch is grounded. That's the only way to make it click. So blue wire off, relay clicks, ground off the wiper switch, relay does not click. So let's go to the green wire. That's the bottom wire on the 1, 2, 3 connector. And let's see what we get. Okay, with the green wire off, that is not low speed, that is high speed. Now what's going to happen when we put it in park, it's not going to disengage the disengage the park switch. No, it did disengage the park switch. By disengage, it means to throw the lever out and catch it. But what you're in now is what we call wiper motor run-on. And if you get that, and I got to remember, if you let that go too long, the motor will start smoking. It heats the resistor up real quick. And there she goes. Not to worry, it didn't burn the motor up. It just got the resistor hot enough to smoke. So, wiper motor run-on, problem with the green wire. If we disconnect the yellow wire, and this is going to be kind of funny because it's not really, none of it's funny, but it's going to be interesting because what you're going to see is the same scenario we had with the blue wire. Okay, yellow wire is disconnected. What do you get? You're not going to get anything. What you are going to get at the relay is the same clicking noise. So even with the yellow wire off, the relay's engaging. So the yellow wire broke at the motor, it's still got power going to the relay. It's still making ground from the switch, so the relay's clicking. Now how do you know the difference? Do I go to blue or do I go to yellow? It's real simple. go to the yellow wire, make sure it's connected at the connector to the motor, and then take a voltage reading off of it. So you get a voltage reading off of it, then you can eliminate the yellow wire as your problem. So, okay. Now let's go to the wires at the wiper switch connector. Of course, the dark blue wire operates the windshield washer pump, headlight washers if you have the option. It plays no part in this. Really no sense to even test it. Let's go to the blue wire on. Let's go to the blue wire on the relay. And the blue wire on the relay actually runs from the relay to the wiper switch. It's also the ground on the wiper solenoid, and then it runs over to the windshield wiper motor. What we're going to do, we're going to disconnect the blue wire at the relay. Now that's going to drop the ground off the relay, and let's see what it does to the motor. Okay, we got low, and that's all we have. Low speed only. Still parks because it's still hooked to the switch. It's just not, you're not getting the high out of the relay because the relay's not changing the grounds. So low speed only with a park is a problem with the blue wire at the relay. Actually, that would probably indicate that you've got a problem with your relay. Let me tie this back together. Now let's go to yellow wire. We know what it does. It cuts power. Let's go to the green wire at the relay and see what happens. Now this is probably going to be the same thing that happens at the motor. And it is. I mean, we'll do it anyway. Green wire at the relay is no different than busting it loose at the wiper switch connector. So here we go. Same deal, high speed only, and wiper run on. And if you listened the last time, you don't want to let it do that very long. Okay. The next wire we're going to take a peek at is the ground wire. It's number 8 on the 6872 chart. It would be a black with a white striped wire. This is the middle wire on your wiper switch. And it just runs from the wiper switch to the relay, and it picks up ground. So let's check it. Well, let me disconnect it real quick. Okay. All right. Now we've got every function, but we have no low speed. We have high speed only. So high speed only and park. So if you've got high speed only, I would go to the black and white striped wire. I didn't check the relay to see if it will. Let's see here. And the relay still switches. So let me think here real quick. I guess the last test would be if the ground's off the wiper motor switch. And we'll find out what happens there. And that's what happens there. You get nothing. I mean, there's no click at the relay. Nothing. Dead. So we'll put her back on. Really, that's all the wires to the system. We could go back and check them all with this wire and this wire off, but the chances of having 2 problems or 2 broken wires is pretty slim unless somebody's cut the harness. So while we're at it, we're just going to go ahead and roll with this relay scenario too. We'll pop the relay out of here. So I'm going to pop the relay out of here. Let's lose some power here before I burn something up. Okay, now the covers on the relays, and they come off real easy. So we're going to get rid of this. And by the way, there's a neat little trick if you want to use that to keep your motor from dancing. If you bench test your motor, just put a Phillips through one of the holes in the bushing. Okay, now we got to be careful in there if you want to see what the original Frankenmeter looked like. There it is. That's the front view. The wiper relay, if you look at them, with any relay, you just pry the little tabs over, and the relay will come apart. A lot of times you can just go in there and look at them. They're real easy to test. I need some jumpers though. Let me grab some jumpers off of this. Okay. We're going to use, let's see if we can get a different jumper. There we go. There's a yellow one. The yellow works. Alright, now looking at the relay, it's going to be sitting in the car. These are your power and ground wires. This is your power wire right here. The yellow from your wiper motor would run to that, and so that's going to pick you up power. This is just kind of like it's in the car. It's just sitting there waiting for ground. So when you hit this ground, the electromagnet's going to pop, and that's how it functions. Now you've got a ground over on this side. This is with no power. When you power it up, the electromagnet drops it and switches the ground over to this side in relationship to what the switch is doing, what position the switch is doing. They're real easy to fix. They're not real easy to fix, but what you've got in here is a set of points. And like the points in your old cars, they get little tits burned on them. And a lot of times you can just take a jeweler's file. If you can get a small jeweler's file and put in there, you can file it. If you don't have a jeweler's file, you can use maybe some 220 sandpaper, and you want to kind of hold tension against it. I don't have a piece of sandpaper here to show you. I wasn't planning on doing this, well, Kevin's pointing to a piece of sandpaper. Thank you, sir. All right, take a piece of sandpaper in there. Now, if you drop that down, you can insert the paper right there. Okay, and you can sand it a little bit. Now, the old trick to keep it level, if you're using a file, it works real good because you can put tension on this, on the bottom of the points, and push up and just work it this way. And then, of course, go to the other side, push it down, insert your sandpaper, sand it a little bit, put tension on it in both directions. Now, if you have a relay that's sticking, and when you drop power from the relay, you should hear the click. I mean, as soon as you drop power, you should hear it. If it's a delayed click, then the points are burned. If it's not sticking at all, if it's not switching, we had a problem with this relay after we did fix it, to where even though the electromagnet was still pulling it down, it wasn't making good contact on this terminal. So we had to go in there and I call it flush file, make sure it's filed nice and straight and making real good contact. Pretty basic stuff. Aside from that, if the electromagnet's bad, you don't want to rewind the magnet. Trust me, you don't want to go there. It's doable, but something that I wouldn't waste my time doing. It's cheaper to buy another relay unless you're doing an NCRS car, and you absolutely have to have that relay with that cap. So that pretty much sums up the whole video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and maybe you learned something. Don't forget to check us out on the website. It's willcoxcorvette.com. There's 2 L's in Willcox. Thank you, and have a great day.